Leah Lauder, your favourite mega church cult survivor. I spent 18 years in a mega church cult. I thought I was doing up church. Thank you, Ines. I love you. Turned out to be a cult, and it absolutely destroyed my life. I spiralled out of control. I went into full-blown psychosis. I was already in a spiritually psychotic state. I put up a post about the street preachers being very ABUS and EVE. And what I want to talk about today is, where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the line between, you know, like religious beliefs, freedom to carry out religious practices and freedom of speech? And then when do we draw the line with ABUSE and them getting away with MURDER? When you're in those environments, people can move really easily from spiritual psychosis to just full-blown psychosis. So while this cools down, I'm going to do up a quick what is cognitive dissonance, because I put up a bit of content on the street evangelizers. Long story short, this is a survivor. Her pastor unalived from an asthma attack because he was sent on the missions. Something as simple as an asthma attack, guys, but they couldn't save him in there. Do you get what I'm saying? Because he was in a village somewhere just off the grid. So she actually found out about it, that her pastor had unalived that way through my live. So now when I'm putting up the content around the street preachers being aggressive, because they are, it's clear as day. They did up a whole thing in West Croydon where the whole of the West Croydon police and beyond had to come to the place. The whole of West Croydon was locked off. Do you know what I'm saying? If they were doing evangelism in the right way, that wouldn't have happened. So anyway, she's come on there to start talking human fecal matter. I just said, babe, I said, you're in a cognitive dissonance state, and it shows. I said, that's why I didn't get close to you as a survivor, because when you speak, it's giving confusion and you're severely indoctrinated. Because I don't care. Because in these cults, it's us versus them. You're either for them or against them. You're their enemy. God will build his house and the gates of hell won't prevail. I'm dealing with very radical people with very extreme ideological perceptions of reality, okay? So I'm not going to be sitting here like, yes, you have to, and all of that. I don't have time for that. If you're not with us, you're against us, chair. Do you know what I mean? You're on their side. There's no in-between with this. You either think that this is wrong, we need to stop, and I need people who are willing to come out, protest, campaign with me, like move this forward. We've got people who have been in church cults and all they've been doing is church cult hopping, thinking that if they speak, Dag is my cult leader, Dag's EVIR, they think if they speak, they're going against God. They're being a DIVEL, they're getting used by this, it's very hyper-religious, spiritually psychotic rhetoric. There's no common sense, there's no logic. An example of cognitive dissonance is if somebody has an addiction to, on the pack of it, it will say it causes CANCR, it unalives, it's like the cognitive dissonance. Like, you know, when you do that, it could lead to like serious health issues, but because you're addicted and that's your coping mechanism, whatever, you ignore the pictures on the packet, you ignore the the possible health conditions that you could face, because if you don't get and it's the same with DRUGS, if you don't get it, it's like you can't survive. And this is the same thing. Remember I said they become like addicts in the environment. There's that constant need for supply, validation from the leader, whatever it is. So and it's also to do with the thought blocking when they brainwash them. But it's like when you come to them and you're telling them your pastor's teething from you, did you know that this was going on? Do you know they're survivors? It's like the cognitive dissonance. No, this is a blessed place for me. I've been blessed since I've been coming. The pastor's done A, B, C, and D, I don't want to hear it. That's the cognitive dissonance, yeah. So it's when it makes them look like they've got the mindset of a 5-year-old or younger. Because remember, the narcissistic leader has a mindset of like an 11-year-old. That's why you'll see like the cult leader have like temper tantrums. I call them like narcissistic rants. They'll have like narcissistic rants and narcissistic temper tantrums, like at the pulpit. Do you know what I'm saying? If someone's left, if someone's speaking against the cult, if someone said something against the leader, it will just be a whole onslaught. It'll be like a barrage of just ABUSE and psychological breaking down. All right, so let's get into it. Cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort experience when a person holds conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes, or when their actions contradict their beliefs. All right, so there's a clear kind of like we can see what the characteristics of Christ are. We can see what the fruits of the Spirit are. It says it in Galatians, is it 5:22? It outlines clearly what the gifts of the fruits of the Spirit are. But when the cognitive dissonance comes in, is because of the indoctrination, because they've taught them that, you know, outreach, fruits of the Spirit is outreach, it's winning souls, it's targets, it's prayer in the cult, not by yourself, because they can't measure it. They can't give you a tick. They can't tick you in. You know, it was literally a spreadsheet during the pandemic. We had to clock in, put the time we're clocking in and the time we're clocking out. So it's a mixture of a lot of different tactics that leads to the cognitive dissonance. So this conflict creates tension and motivates individuals to reduce the discomfort by changing their beliefs, justifying their actions, or downplaying the importance of the conflict. So there, it might be a situation where the pastors essay the girl in the church, and you're saying to them, look, oh, but we all fall short of the glory of God. You know, the man of God has weaknesses, and just like you and me, he can sin, but the Lord, the forgiveness. And that's, do you know what I find it really, really weird? Because like for me, they have no forgiveness, they have no mercy, and Jesus came to save the sinners and the unsaved. They've got no forgiveness, they've got no mercy, they've got nothing for me. But for their people in their little, when their pastor grapes a woman or essays a woman, all of a sudden they know about forgiving the pastor that essayed the gal. They know about forgiving the pastor that ran off with all the money. Do you remember when ELM, Eternal Life Ministries, that's the one that Anya Kapoor teethed up the cult. Do you remember when he got the Evening Standard, he got exposed for teething £725,000 of the church cult's money? And it was like $1 million in excess, yeah? And then he had to go to Ghana and whatever. But it's like the members were still there. Oh, no, they didn't get it right. You know, he was doing the building. Like, even when I spoke to someone that was from that cult and they were trying to justify the man's actions, and it's like, babes, do you know what I mean? Like, your pastors literally got convicted for teething. It had to get shut down and closed down, but they're still there. Another example is V2V, Victory to Victory, Pastor Douglas, who got sentenced for doing an essay and graping a gal in the church. Where were the members? Outside the courthouse, crying and praying for the pastor. That's the cognitive dissonance. Yeah, let's go through the definition. Cognitive dissonance is a psychological phenomenon where individuals experience discomfort when they have conflicting thoughts, beliefs, or behaviors. So when it's conflicting, they're and it's not even the Bible, it's the false doctrine, it's what the Mog said. Do you get what I'm saying? If they believe in name it, claim it, take it, you can't tell them that's a false doctrine, it's prosperity preaching. You can't say to them, if you say to them, why does the pastor have a jet when, you know, there's a lot of people in the cult that are, you know, like starving, oh, he needs the jet to get to lots of places and be at lots of places at a time, to preach the gospel, to preach God. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance, there's discomfort there, and also they'll attack you. And they get their defense mechanism, and they can get really nasty as well. It's at that point where they'll say, oh, anyway, you're going to HELL. And it's not like the way Christ was teaching it out of love and compassion, because he didn't want to see the people going to HELL. So he was teaching. And anyway, we could argue whether that's a state of consciousness, whether there's really a place called hell, whatever. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But if we take it literally like the bonkers people, then we can say, you know, he was doing that out of love and compassion, not going on the street to hurl abuse. And then when people disagree with you, tell them they're going to HELL and they're the Antichrist and they're SATAN and they're DEVIL. That's not from Christ. That's from your ego. That's because you're angry, you can't swear, and you can't F and blind. Let's go into the cause. The conflict arises when a person's attitudes or beliefs are inconsistent with each other, leading to a sense of unease. So again, the pastors contradict. There's inconsistencies in the Bible that they call infallible. That is cognitive dissonance, do you get one? And then you wonder why they don't have, you know, common sense and logic. Like these cults, they know it's dangerous. They know that the Mog is rude. They know they're abusive. They know the wife is cantankerous. They know they're getting ABUSED'd. But the thing is, they don't know, because they tell them that abuse is love and love is abuse. But we see that cognitive dissonance in them, because we can see that your Mog is talking to you like a piece of dirt on the floor, like you are a doormat, like you're getting exploited. Do you understand what I'm saying? But you're still there doing the most. So let's look at the impact. So cognitive dissonance can lead to changes in attitudes, behaviors, and perceptions as individuals strive for consistency between their thoughts and actions. So guys, this is where we see the hyper-religiosity, the shouting. Also, we could talk about the way that they're offline. You know, like when we say lights are on, no one's home. It's like that cognitive dissonance. It's like no matter what you say to them, you're knocking, no one's home. Lights are on, no one's home. and it's that cognitive dissonance in them. Anyway, this was just a quick one, a little bit of content that I could put up, because I'm going to download this and put it out for everybody to have as you know, a little bit of content. So anyway, I'll be back later, guys. This was just a quick one from me so that we can get an understanding of what cognitive dissonance is. Keep your eyes and ears peeled, because more content coming from me today. All right, I'll see you later.